Alright, the PSVR2 is almost upon us, and this is everything you need to know without all the fluff. First off, we have the 4K visuals set up through two 2000 by 2040 OLED displays per eye that will be able to deliver up to 120 frames per second, depending on if the game can support it or not. This is up from the 1080 that was supported on the first PSVR, and there is a cinematic mode that is limited to 1080p if you wanted to watch movies or something. Following that up, we get an increase in our field of vision from 100 degrees to 110 degrees. We'll be able to adjust the width that the lenses are from each other for better eye comfort, and there is a vent above the lenses that will help reduce any fogging up that might happen. It also supports eye tracking, so games that support it will be able to track your eye movement in those games. The headset also has a slight feedback mechanic that will allow you to feel subtle vibrations like your character's heartbeat or things flying by your head. I like the idea of adding more features to be more immersive, but I know that might be too much for some people, so I hope you can turn it off. From there, we get a lot of cool updates to the headset itself, starting with the ability to see the real world while still wearing the headset, a built-in mic, and an audio jack. This is an audio output jack. The cameras on the headset project an image back to you so you can see what it is around you. Sony says that it can't record video. But yep, that's right, I said cameras on the headset. Now this isn't exactly new tech, as this is how it on the Meta Quest 2. But it is a big improvement over the PSVR1. Along with being able to see through your headset, you'll also be able to set a play area to fit your environment. For example, you got a table in the way and can't really move around that much. You can set your field of play, and the system shouldn't recognize the controllers when you move out of that zone. The cameras on the headset also read the two wireless controllers. These controllers are a great improvement over the wands that we needed for the first iteration. They weren't necessarily a pain, but they were still pretty awkward. The controller positions are picked up by the headset cameras and are wireless. On top of that, they have some of the DualSense tech like adaptive triggers and haptic feedback. It also has finger detection, so if you're pressing a button, you'll see your avatar put their finger on the button when you put yours on it at the same time. The example that was shown in the trailer was putting your finger on the trigger of a weapon. They are called Orb Controllers, which I guess is so they can be more precisely tracked when turning your wrist, and are rechargeable through a USB-C. Sony's Tempest 3D audio tech is built into the headset, but I think that's kind of weird because the headset doesn't have built-in speakers, so you would need to use a pair of headphones that also allow surround sound, and again, this is if the game supports it. A couple of things that were inconvenient or poorly designed for the first one seem to have been thought of alongside the development of the PS5. For example, you only need one cord to connect the headset to the PS5. If you don't know, the first one we had a processor unit that we had to plug into the PlayStation's HDMI and USB ports. Then we had to plug in the headset to the box with a couple of chunky connectors and plug that box into the TV. Also, the box had to be plugged into the wall to get power. It is pretty cumbersome, and the wires add a lot of weight to the headset, so that's a really good change. We also needed to plug in the PS4 camera so it could use the headset and wands, which then we couldn't use the camera to stream and show our crazy VR experiences or expressions. Now the PS5 camera will allow you to stream the PSVR2 on the PS5 without needing to go through a capture card. I just hope they fixed the way chat showed in the headset. From what I've seen with some VR streamers, they can just look over at chat in the game, but on the PSVR1, it would only show a certain number of characters, so a viewer's chat messages would get cut off. The PSVR2 will only work on the PS5, so unfortunately, if you don't have a PS5 yet and want one, you might find it a challenge, but don't give up. I've seen some images of the PS5s out in the wild, so they are becoming a little bit easier to find. There's no release date or price on the PSVR2 yet, but I would guess about $400 to $450. The previous PSVR launched at $400 price, which was the same price as the PS4, and the digital PS5 is $400, so I'm just following the pattern. You could say that it might be $500 because of the disc version, but I think the disc version is just for people that wanted the physical version. Sony seems to be leaning more towards that digital platform. But it's on my to-get list, the PSVR2. What about you guys? Are you going to grab the PSVR2 and check out Resident Evil Village or Horizon Call of the Mountain? Is VR even something you like pressing the like and subscribe button? Let me know in the comments, and if you want to see a cool game, click this video that pops up here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.